Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hip Senior Books. My name is Marianne Bailey. Today, I am your host, and my guest is David Brown. He is the author of Beating the Dementia Monster, How I Stopped the Advance of Cognitive Impairment from Alzheimer's Disease. David, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you for joining us. So you wrote Beating the Dementia Monster. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what this book is about.
Well, I was an engineer working here in Eastern Washington, and I became alarmed at some things that were going on with my memory, with my cognitive abilities, and I was really frightened. I went to see a neurologist. He gave me a test and evaluated me, and he said that I had early senile dementia, likely Alzheimer's disease. When I heard that, first thing that came up was maybe I should get a second opinion, because that was really out of the blue, unexpected. And so I went to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle, which is the University of Washington's teaching hospital there, where they have a brain wellness center. And I went there and they evaluated me. They gave me an MRI. They gave me 3 hours of pretty grueling cognitive tests. And they said that I had mild cognitive impairment. And they said it was probably Alzheimer's disease, because they said probably because you don't really know until the autopsy. And that's still hopefully quite a ways off yet. I began investigating what I can do about it, because I had heard, all I knew was what was in popular culture about what's Alzheimer's disease. Old people get it, and it's just a steady descent into oblivion, and there's no hope. And once you have it, and I heard all those things, that's all what I believed. But I started to investigate on the internet, just what can I do? What's possible out there? And the first thing that starts popping up was all this research on physical exercise and what physical exercise can do for you. I saw a lot of things on diet and different supplements and a bunch of stuff like that. But the one thing that kept popping up with the biggest amount of emphasis or momentum behind it was this emerging research that just kept pointing to how important exercise was. After dilly-dallying for a few months, and after talking to some more people in science, I went and joined the gym, which was really a start. And main thing I did was get on the treadmill, and because what I was reading and hearing was that physical exercise, sustained aerobic exercise, was something that actually could turn it around. The one thing that popped up very early, was an article in Scientific American that really cemented it for me and said, I got to do this. I had got to the point where I had stopped driving a car because I was just too dangerous, and I was having all kinds of other issues. But after I started getting real physical exercise, after that, after a few months, I started to feel some improvement. And the more I did it, the better I felt about my memory, about my cognition, and some of these things that were bothering me weren't troubling me nearly as much. This progressed for some time, and I became convinced that this, and with other lifestyle changes, there was a secret here, and I was making a lot of progress. And I was going back for regular evaluations, and I was getting told the same thing. You're making progress, and the reason you're making progress is because you've changed your lifestyle. I was very sedentary before. No, I'm not. I didn't eat well now. And so all these things added up, and I did a lot of research and came to the conclusion that this shouldn't be a secret. Other people should know this. Right. Other people should, and the more I talked to people about my experience, the more surprised they were, the more I became convinced I needed to share it. So I started to do public speaking on my experience and what had come about for me. We've sold about now between the first edition and second edition, we sold about 10,000 copies, and I pretty regularly get emails from people telling me that they have benefited from the book because they, like me, believe that there was no hope when once they tell you have this thing, that's it. So I was told by a neuropsychologist that I was on track. I was 65 years old, and he interviewed me when I was 66. And he said I was on track to be dead by 75. Okay, I'm 74 right now. Okay. And I'm not expected to be dead anytime soon. But he also said that if I kept doing what I was doing, that would go out to 85.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so that was good news and news that I just had to share. I got a new primary care provider and I gave it a free copy to him. And he said, wow, this is all the stuff I've been trying to tell all my older patients.
Okay.
However, I did have a number of professionals review the manuscript before we went to press. One of them was obviously a neurologist. And one of the things that he said to me was there is more and better information in this book than most primary care providers know about Alzheimer's disease,
No.
which gave me a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a reputable guy, knows his stuff.
Okay. So people read your book, they set it down. They can only have one thought about your book. What do you hope that one thought is?
My hope is that they'll see hope because I thought it was a death sentence when I got it. I knew that it's a killer. It's the sixth leading cause of death in the United States. And what I'd like them to realize is there's actually something you can do about it. There really is. And it really, at least in my case, it really works.
Okay. So it's not a cure or anything like that, but it does changing your lifestyle, eating healthier, getting exercise, being more cognizant of those things will help expand, hopefully, your life once you've been diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
That's my experience, and that's borne out by a lot of research. There's
Okay.
a lot of research going on. There's a whole lot of interest in the research community, specifically about lifestyle and Alzheimer's disease.
Very good. Okay. David Brown, the author of Beating the Dementia Monster. Thank you so much for joining us today.